Hey, what's up? Welcome to DGenEd. That's degenerative education, meaning none of this is financial advice. Just me having fun looking at charts. And so this is pre-market prep for Thursday, April 3rd. And the UVIX, ticker symbol UVIX, which is the 2x long VIX futures ETF, closed yesterday at a price of $35.32, being down about 5.31% on the day. And, I was looking at the chart and I was thinking, well, we did get rejected from this green downtrend, did pull back below that purple trend line there. And, I was thinking since this is still in the green box, maybe that was a dip buying opportunity. We did, of course, as you guys all know, have the tariff news coming out from Trump yesterday after the market closed. And, it's pretty clear to me that markets will probably be going down and the UVIX will be going up. And that is, in fact, what we saw in the pre-market. It looks like the UVIX is currently up 25.5%, trading at around 43, above $43 a share, being up $9 from here. And so looking at that pullback there from yesterday's close, going up to, let's see, $44, right around there is what we're currently at, up 25% there. So a very nice trade. And then if looking from the bottom of that green box there, that represents about a 54% swing to the upside. So very nice there. Unfortunately for me, I did not get in UVIX on this time around. I was waiting for $28 a share, as you can see from the alert there, to be going off. And we unfortunately hit a low over here of, let's see, $28.67. And that was hit on March 25th. So, unfortunately, I didn't get involved in this one, but, no big deal. But anyways, flipping over to the 10-minute time frame just so we can see how this traded following the close yesterday. So yesterday during market hours, we actually just kind of faded lower with a little bit of a bounce there. But right after close, basically once Trump started speaking, or maybe about 10 minutes into it, we started to see the UVIX rally, moving up pretty sharply here. This 10-minute candle going up 15% in that span of 10 minutes, so pretty crazy there. But then, did hit a high of 46.40 yesterday in the after hours trading before gapping down a little bit. And then now it looks like it's attempting to fill that gap, which would be getting back to around $45.50. So it will be very interesting to see how this trades today. I suspect we'll be seeing a gap up, a little bit of a pullback to fill the gap, or potentially to fill the gap. I don't know. I actually think that the gap will be left there today, and maybe a little bit of a pullback. Maybe it could be something like, a gap up to, let's see, around 45, pull back, retest that downtrend, and then maybe go higher. Maybe we see some continued moves into Friday and over the weekend, continued moves to the upside. But anyways, let's just look over at the VIX real quick. Did close yesterday at a price of 21.51, being down 1.19% on the day. I'm wondering where this could be going. Maybe we see it hit 28.32. So I'm just going to circle that there so I can look at it tomorrow, kind of that ugly little doodle there. Did we hit 28.32? So we'll have to see. But anyways, thinking about the UVIX and the VIX going up, maybe missed the trade on these. So considering looking into or getting into the SVIX, which is the 1X short VIX futures ETF, did close yesterday at $20.78, being up 2.57% on the day. But it does look like it's pulled back over 11% in the pre-market, and I do have this alert. I just set this yesterday at 18. Currently, it is trading at 18.42. So if I do flip this over to the 10-minute time frame, just the opposite of what happened with the UVIX is this, started going up a little bit after the close, but that 10-minute time frame candle came down in that 10-minute time frame span. by 5.26%, and then continued lower with a little bit of a gap up into pre-market, but pulling back, attempting to fill that gap. And so I'm wondering if that $18 alert will be going off during trading hours today. But if not, this red box does extend until May 8th. So I'm kind of expecting maybe there to be a bottom in the SVIX, and then there is a nice opportunity around the bottom there for a 10 to 30% swing to the upside. Who knows? So I am very intrigued to be partaking in this one once I do think that we have hit a top in the VIX. With that being said, a bottom in the SVIX, and that would be around April 8th. And so with this Friday being the 4th, that would be Tuesday is the 8th of next week, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. But anyways, let's flip over to the SPY, which is the S&P 500 tracking ETF. Did close yesterday at a price of $564.52, being up about 0.6% on the day, but pulling back in the pre-market. This is probably not surprising. Down to $545.80, pulling back almost $19 or 3.3%. And so, yeah, I'm wondering, let's see, where is this green uptrend that, we're basically right around where the cursor is at. So that is a potential retest of that uptrend. If I do take a step back, that is based on the lows from April 19th as well as August 5th, two kind of pivotal moments there from the past, and we have been teasing that level. So I suspect we will be seeing a test of it today. I suspect we will be trading lower than it, and if we do break below it, the next level to the downside that I could see us hitting is around 530. That is a gap fill from over here, which is actually an incorrect gap fill because let's see, the close over here. Let's see, and also, yeah, that gap was filled. The close over here from August 12th was at 528.27. So I am going to adjust that gap to be correct. Oops, 528.27. So got that mark there, and I might make that thicker just so we can really clearly see it there. And yeah, that would definitely be corresponding with a breakdown of that uptrend. But maybe, what we could see is if we do pull back to that level, then maybe we get a bounce, but then maybe a reject from that uptrend and then continue lower. And part of the reason why I think that might be happening is because of this 100% Fibonacci extension based on the retracement here, the extension drawn there. That would suggest a return to around $513, corresponding with effectively the bottom from over here. We actually hit lower than that on August 5th, but right around here we did get kind of a bounce and hold of around 513, so we'll have to see if that does take place. But yeah, if we do flip over to the 10-minute time frame, again, just the opposite of the UVIX, similar to the SVIX, did get a little bit of a green candle at the beginning of after hours trading, but then a massive red candle here coming down at 2.19%, and then continuing lower before consolidating a little bit with a gap up into pre-market, but now starting to return that gap up to fill it. So yeah, will be very interesting to see. The low in the after hours trading from yesterday was high at $542.15. I suspect we'll be going lower than that today during market hours. And then real quick, just looking over at the SPX, this is of course the S&P 500 index, closed yesterday at $5,670.97, being up 0.67% on the day, and a pullback and retest of the lows from just a few days ago. So that looks like it was on March 31st. So that would have been Monday. The lows were $5,488.73. I suspect we'll be getting to around $5,450 and maybe lower today. So very curious to see what happens there. And then also, extending over into the crypto sphere, we do have Bitcoin trading down around $83,500. Does look, I think it's pretty cool. Like we got rejected from that red downtrend there. Did wick to a high of around above $88,000. But did very clearly close below that. I think depending on the chart that you're looking at, depending on the time frame of the opens and closes of the candles, this candle might have been green, but still got a very clear rejection from that downtrend, which looks like it's currently around $85,500 there above our heads. But yeah, I think that we could be heading lower, potentially to test 75, 72,000 and potentially 69,420, getting back into this box here and to test the prior all-time highs, see if those hold up as support, which I suspect they will. So I'm not too concerned about that, and I'm actually looking forward to a dip buy, but we might be finding some support or at least a bounce around 78, 79,000. That's the 50% retracement here, or the 618 around 72, which is why I have those limit buy orders there, but also, the highs over here around 74, so maybe get a bounce there as well. I suspect 79,000, maybe 78,000 will be acting as at least some short-term support, since we do have this downtrending light blue line there. Really just a confluence of levels there, and also this yellow downtrend here, intersecting just below current price or the current candles. But we do have, this confluence of levels over here. And then, if one wanted to take advantage of this downside move here, we do have the BITI, which is the ProShares Short ETF. That's ticker symbol BITI. Was down about 2% yesterday, closing at a price of $24.87. But in the pre-market, it is up about 4%, currently trading just below $26 a share. We haven't yet. I guess we did retest the 50% retracement here at around 24.45. Did get a nice bounce from that level, going up about 8% from there. But I suspect we could be testing this 618, and that would be around 23.56. But of course, we are going to be getting a bounce before then. And perhaps I should note that the high from over here from Monday, March 31st, was at a price of 26.54. So I'm just going to put a horizontal line in there to mark that level, thinking that it will probably be acting as resistance since it was that high over there. But if we can get above 26.54, close above that, I do think that we could be testing these highs here around 28. So we'll have to look and wait for that. But then looking over at Ethereum real quick, currently trading around $1,800, still right around that yellow uptrend. I suspect we'll be breaking below it. And, I would be excited to pick up a little bit more aggressively at around $1,500. So we will have to wait and see on that. But then finally, looking over at ticker symbol URA, which is the Global X Uranium ETF, closed yesterday at a price of $23.17, being up about 0.39% on the day, but pulling back over 70 cents, about 3% in the pre-market at 22.45. Which is just above this 1618, which is an extension from this Fibonacci here. That extension, Fibonacci extension, so not a Fibonacci retracement. We see that there, 2214, and that does correspond with basically it would be forming a triple bottom over here. So let's see if we get a test of 22. If not, maybe this could be getting back down to the 20s, or maybe even over here. This 100% extension that I have marked at around $19 a share. Very interesting to see what happens today during market hours, but I got to get headed to work. And so, as always, those are just my thoughts. If you found them helpful, make sure you like the video, share your thoughts in the comments down below, and make sure you subscribe to the channel for more pre-market preps and videos like this. Thanks a lot and take care, you guys. Cheers.